There she goes. Okay. All right. So, hey, everyone. Thank you guys for hopping on tonight. My name's Whitney, Whitney Maley. I am a Zaya executive with Zaya, and I have been with Zaya for just over 2 years, and it has been a super fun, crazy journey, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm a mom of 3 little ones, and we're packing our bags and moving across the country right now. I have 2 litters of puppies also at my house, so 18 puppies that I'm taking care of and also marketing them. So I have a lot on my plate, but there's always time. Seems like I can fit Zaya into the small windows of time that I do have, and have been able to grow a substantial business from that. So anyone can do it, I swear. It just takes some time and patience and consistency. So I'll go ahead and get started. That's a little bit about me. Oh, Shannon. They're Bernie Doodles. So Bernie's Mountain Dog Poodle mix. So yeah, they're fun. So first of all, thank you guys all for showing up. Just showing up here today separates you from a lot of people who did not show up. A lot of people are invited to these calls and not everybody comes. So it makes a difference. Just you guys showing up means that you have the right mindset, the right determination, the focus, the drive to want to be better, to want to take your business to the next level. So that already gives you, a step up in the game. So props to you guys for that. In addition to that, though, one of the main things that separates people from people who make it from those who don't is to not quit. Don't give up. You guys are showing up right now, and that is awesome. And sometimes your business is going well and strong and thriving, and sometimes it struggles, and you have hard days and things don't go your way, and you work really hard for a week and get tons of rejections and no responses, and you feel defeated and you want to give up because you feel like it's not working. But don't give up. The people who make it have those problems too. They have those down times and they keep pushing through, and then it turns around and it gets better. So just by not giving up makes a difference. So just hang in there. And if you ever feel like that, like where things are not going your way and you're down, don't ghost everybody. Reach out to your upline and talk to her, and then you guys can work together as a team. There's been times where I was down and like not working my business. There was months I had no parties at all. And Stacy and Kelly would call me up and be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? And hey, let's hop on a Zoom call. And I'm like, okay. And then, seeing them and talking to them would help me re-energize and focus and strategize ways to improve. Kelly and Stacy both have implemented these amazing tools for us to use. And I haven't really created a whole lot of that. I just use it, do what they tell me to do, and it works. So just by using these tools that have already been in place, you guys can be successful. So most of you guys are on Lindsay's team, not everybody, but a lot of us in general it's a very young team. And whether you're part of Revolution or One Zaya or Lindsay's team, there has been huge growth, so much growth in our company and our teams, and that's something to be proud of. So we're doing something right. So as you guys know, the main part of this business, or like the main focus on everything, is booking parties. If you guys can have your calendars full, if you guys can get your parties booked, that is how you grow. Whether it's your sales and commission and team members, all of it stems from bookings. And I know that can be tough sometimes too. So how do you get bookings, right? That's so hard. Some people have issues with that. One of my big things is build relationships. So a good place to start is in your current parties, in your past parties. Be messaging those people. Start a dialogue with them early. and message all of the party members and ask them to host, whether it's when they are in the party or after when they get their things. If they didn't order, you can even message them. If you can get people to respond to you, not everybody's going to respond, but get them to respond, or get them to, if you have a dialogue with them, talk to them about hosting, even if they didn't order. Hey, I know maybe this was out of your price range, but we have some great items and I'd love to get some for you. Would you consider hosting a party to get some for free and half off? You know, and it's not always going to be yes, especially not if they're not your warm market. But it's a no if you don't ask. So you don't really have anything to lose. So just go ahead and ask everybody in the party to host. Also, you can ask them to rep too, especially if they consider hosting. You can say, hey, you know, have you ever considered doing something like this? You could be a rep too, you know, or have you done this sort of thing in the past? It's good to get people talking about themselves, their lives, get to know them. And then you can kind of understand how Zaya could fit their life, you know? So that's a little bit about booking and then in parties. When you are like prospecting in general on social media, I mean, almost all of what we do now is social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. We're hardly doing in-person things anymore. Hopefully things open up here soon and we can get back to that, because I think that the in-home parties and the vendor events and gym pop-ups, those are great ways to expand your network as well. Once maybe COVID slows down a little, we can do that again. But for now, social media is a lot of what we do. It stinks relying on Facebook for everything, but it's also an amazing tool that we have access to. A lot of people find these really great graphics, host graphics, rep graphics, and then they post the graphic and feel upset when nobody comments or responds to that graphic. And sometimes that happens. But just showing our product and showing our opportunity is just a part of it. It's just like a step in the process. It's a part of the process. So much of this is about building those relationships. So a way to advance that or further that is just starting on little things like commenting on people's stories. You know how people are posting stories all the time now. And by commenting on a story, like I had a girlfriend the other day who posted a video of her and her husband doing a workout, you know, in like super fast speed, you know how they do that. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. Get it, girl, or something. And then she was like, oh my gosh, thanks. It's so good to hear from you. And so it was someone I hadn't talked to in a long time. And now we have a conversation started. And so I didn't get right into like, hey, you'd be a great brand rep. It just was, I'm building that relationship. I had a relationship with her previously, and it's been a long time since we've talked. And so it's just kind of reestablishing that connection. It makes me be in her mind. Maybe it helps her follow my posts and see what I'm talking about, see what I'm into. It just is building more relationships, creating more relationships. Another way is to always send happy birthday messages. You can see in Facebook, like whose birthday's coming up. And so you can do it a day early so you stand out, or a day late. But trying to stand out in there is a good way, or even just commenting, not always just liking. Most people don't see who likes a post or loves a post even. We all know that loving or the other little emojis are better than just like. But if you think about a post that you've made of your kids or your spouse or your pet, and you're like, oh my gosh, 85 people loved that post. You don't actually click on it and see every single name who loved your post. Most people don't. Although that is a good way to connect with people as well. if you see those people who liked your post of your pet, or liked your post if it was about black metallics or whatever it could have been. Just a simple like, hey, thanks for liking that post. Are you interested in that item? There's just all sorts of ways to open that dialogue. It's always about opening dialogue, building relationships. And then once you get that dialogue started, whatever way you chose, whether it was in a party, whether it was a social media story, or a random post, a happy birthday, whatever it was, try to turn the conversation, have them talk about them. You want to know about them. And also, they want to talk about them. So it's great for they feel like you are interested in them, which we are, and we want to know how these people are doing. And also, people, when they're talking about themselves, they feel like you're interested and that you want to get to know them, and it makes them like you. Isn't that funny? The more someone talks about themselves, the more they like the person they're talking to. So be a good listener. And you can engage and ask more questions and kind of probe into what's going on. And you get to know their love language. You can see while they're talking, you can get to learn what I don't know, motivates them. So whether, here we have things to offer in this business. Is it money? Is it community? There's so many things. There's some people on our team who aren't interested in the money. They do it because they wanted to make friends, or, there's all sorts of different reasons. I know when I started, it was about being held accountable to be active. And it made a difference that, I'm posting pictures in my activewear, and it helped me be being around this community of women who are active and, got it going on for the most part. You are inspired and motivated to kind of keep that up too. And so that is also another reason. So you just kind of have to probe into their lives and see, what it is that, would draw them to Zaya. How does Zaya fit for them, So one way to remember that is Tiny. Have you guys heard of Tiny? Their interests, not yours. So just remember to Tiny, their interests, not yours. And I'm sure they'll ask in conversation. You can, talk about what you have going on in your life, but try to get them talking for the most part. One of my tried and true methods for recruiting, I guess in general, team building. And some of you probably have already heard this part, but it's kind of one thing that I really like to promote. And I know there's several other people coming after me about recruiting, and I didn't want to, we're going to all talk to you guys about the same thing. So this is one in particular that I do. So I did post today in the One Zaya group. I know not everybody's in there, but about creating your list. So we have to have a list, especially if you're a newer rep. Creating your contact list is how you kind of get started. You get your foothold. How you get your first parties booked. Go through that list. Ask every single person on the list to host. And as you grow your business, I still have a contact list. It has 500 people on it. It's a huge list, and it is evolving all the time, and I'm adding people to it and making notes on those people. And we come into contact with people all the time, and people pop up in your head, and oh my gosh, that person would be great, or maybe she would host, and you can add that person to your contact list. You can have it on, we have it in Zaya Revolution, an actual document that has great ways to, a great tool, I guess, to think of the people that are in your life already that you could reach out to. And it's like your relatives and family, or friends, close friends, your church friends, social friends, your dental hygienist or hairstylist, or the receptionist at those offices, the medical assistant, the physician. There's all sorts of people that you meet, chiropractor, in your life, kids, sports parents, kids, friends, parents. There's this list in Zyra Evolution that you can find. That's a great place to start. In addition to that, I sometimes just go through my friends list on Facebook and I'm like, oh yeah, that person or that person. And then you kind of start that relationship building where I go back and it's like, okay, I'm going to follow that person and I'm going to comment on her things and I'm going to message her when she posts a story. And you start that relationship building. So it's not just that out of the blue, hey girl, that everybody, talks about with social media. So once you have that list going, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people on it, and there will be people on it that you're afraid to reach out to. There's people that you admire, that you look up to that maybe run their own business well, or you see them as like an influencer, and it is hard to reach out to those people. Why? It's just, they're just a person like you and I, but for whatever reason, those people are hard. So you can sort out your list and find those people that you admire, people that you would want to work with. I call it the chicken list. Have you guys heard that? It's one of my favorite things, the chicken list. You are chicken and you don't want to reach out to that person. You have 10 people you contact, but you never contact that one. And you know who it is. Everybody has them. And but by contacting those people that you look up to, that you admire, that you aspire to work with, you grow this. You grow as a person, and your business grows. There's so many benefits that come from it. And so, how do you do it? Right? That's the hard part.
Body.
First, I didn't know if someone was asking a question. My personal favorite way to do it is first be authentic. There's certain people that are on your chicken list and certain people are not. But if there's someone who's on your chicken list, you can start out and say, hey, I am so nervous or afraid to reach out to you because you are amazing or successful or whatever it is that makes you think that this person is, awesome and that you're intimidated. Tell them. So start out by saying you're kind of nervous and afraid, you're vulnerable, and then you're complimenting them. So right there, you almost always get a response. People respond to compliments and they respond to your vulnerability. They don't think they're anything special. Why would you be afraid to reach out to me? That's silly. I'm just Sue. You don't have to be afraid to reach out to me. I'm just like anybody else. And wow, thank you. That was so nice. Yes, my kids are cute, or yes, they are getting big, or whatever it is that you find to compliment them about, thank you. Yes, I do have a successful career. That kind of opens up the door. And even if they are, not wanting to be a brand rep with you, just by complimenting them, they kind of feel like, wow, maybe, yeah, I would love to help you out. They don't want to kick you while you're down kind of thing. And so if you can turn that into a host, even, it's still a win. So I had a week where I did the chicken list. I had 11 people on my chicken list because I kept putting them off. I didn't want to reach out to those 11 people. And I got to say, there's still a couple on it that I have not reached out to because I get it. It's hard. And so that week I had, I think 6 of them responded on my chicken list. I had 2 of them became reps on my team. 2 of them hosted, and then 2 were like not nows. But it was still, I thought, pretty good success for the chicken list. I know one of them's on the call right now. But it is, when you're vulnerable and authentic, people see that. And you can show that. It doesn't have to always be, don't have it be about me, about, how beautiful this business is and how it's amazing. And I got a new car and I got a trip and I got all these, awesome things. You can be vulnerable, and that is attractive too. So, the last thing about those people on your chicken list, a lot of times, the reason they're on your chicken list is because they're already successful, whether they're successful in network marketing or their career or whatever it may be that put them on your chicken list. They are usually successful. And so you think in your head, you have this red light go off, and it's saying they would never want to do this. Why would someone that has a great job or a great education or already has a successful business, or they're so busy they won't have time? You have all of these things that go off in your head of these excuses on why that person would not be interested in what you have to offer. And so just stop that red light, turn that red light off. You are making, your brain is like defending yourself. It's making these excuses so you can find a reason to not reach out to that person. It's like getting outside of your comfort zone. You're getting over that hump on why you're not reaching out. And so allowing them to tell you their reason, if they can't, if they don't want to, if it's not for them, that's not for us to judge. It's for them to decide. So if you just are displaying the whatever it is you're presenting, whether it's hosting or repping, or just the product in general, it is for them to decide, not us. And it's so hard to like process that, to wrap your head around, not prejudging someone about whether they would want to be interested in this business or not. So that's kind of where I leave you on that front for tonight. My challenge for you guys is to make your chicken list. Try to do it this week, and maybe in the next week, before the call next week, try to have reached out to, say, 5 people that you're on your chicken list, and report to Lindsay or your upline leader and let them know how your chicken list went. There's really no downside to connecting with these people, and they are, most of the time, these people who are on your chicken list, these successful people, are successful in every facet of their life. It's who they are. There's a reason they're successful. They're sharp. They work hard. They dive in. They don't give up. There's a lot of reasons why people are successful. And I'll take Kelly, for example. She worked hard in her last direct sales industry and built a huge team and was successful there. And you know what? You better believe if I knew Kelly, I would have reached out to her and been like, hey, you were awesome. You want to be on my team, because she's successful, right? It's intimidating to reach out to like her with her, knowledge and, success front, like it's hard, but to do it, because you never know when when they are successful as a nurse. I have nurse practitioners on my team. There's physical therapists on the team, people who are well educated, have good careers. They're successful here too. They're successful in all facets of their life. So a lot of times they do well here, and that's why it's hard to reach out to them. Not the people who need it, but the people who want it, right? So I think that's all I have for you guys tonight. Do you guys have any questions for me? I'm gonna turn gallery view on. No questions?
I have a question for you, Whitney.
Yeah, that's what's up, Jessica.
So I don't remember what name of the group where you were part of the group, and somebody asked you because in some point you were recruiting a lot of people, and you have like your wording, like I'm kind of intimidate, that kind of thing. I
Overcoming
remember, and you
objections.
posted there. Yes, you posted there, and as a picture, and I couldn't write it down, and I missed the post. So I don't know if you can share that with us here in this.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm not sure if it's the overcoming objection. Um, there's one that I like pass on to tons of people. It was created by Robin Gillerin. She's like, pro status for recruiting. And she had, it's a document full of verbiage on nearly all of the objections that people come up with and how you can overcome that, essentially. Was that what you were thinking, Jessica?
Well, that would be amazing. But also, you posted, I remember even a picture you did of your chat where you send a messenger to your friends. Like, I remember that I'm kind of intimidated. And they were answering you, yeah, your kids are growing so much, and then would you something like you will be open to learn a little bit about our business. Remember, you posted in one group of directors, something like that.
Okay, I'll have to look. It was actually probably, I'll have to find it. I'll see if I can find it. There's a one of my teammates on here, Rachel. Our conversation was really good, and it was right after I was perfecting the overcoming objections. She didn't have a lot of objections, but that conversation thread was pretty good. So I'll see if I can find if it's that one, and I'll look back and see if I can see which one you're talking about. But since we were talking about the overcoming objections, that document is in Zaya Revolution. I think it's in the files section. I seriously would recommend printing it out and just having it handy, looking at it, getting good at being familiar with. They're all the same objections. They are, although I did have one this week that was new. I'll have to think about what it was. But most of the time it's like time, money. I don't have the network. They're almost always the same. Oh, mine was I want to wait until I lose more weight to sign up. So I hadn't had that one yet. So I was like, oh, okay. But we got it. We overcame it. So it was good. But let's see here. Yes, it's in the files section in Zaya Revolution. If you guys, everybody in Zaya Revolution, it's called How to Recruit. It's by Robin Gillerin.
Okay.
And then
I found it. Yes. How to
yes.
recruit.
So it's just like what to say, when to make your first contact, when to make your second contact. And really it really works. So how many times do you guys reach out to someone and then they don't respond? And then that's it. Your conversation's over. You just never say anything again. Don't give up. After like 2 days, reach out again and say, hey, I just want to make sure you saw my last message. And like, you can either have like the little finger or just a heart or whatever, or nothing. Just, hey, did you see my last message? And then a lot of times people respond to that and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I meant to respond and didn't. And then the conversation starts. If you send the, hey, did you see my last message? And they still don't respond, give them, usually it's either a week from the initial post or a week from the follow-up. It doesn't have to be, it's not like science or something, but, several days, a week or so. And then, you can kind of say, I think she has like, I'm circling back. You must be so busy. But I think you'd be great, or I think you really would be interested in what I have to offer. I'll follow up later. And so then they're kind of like, wow, I feel like an ass. Like I could have at least responded, and so then sometimes that will prompt some conversation and sometimes not, and that's okay. But usually by having the follow-up on that initial reach out, you'll get a lot more traction. So don't give up after just the first initial touch. Try again and try again. And then, make a note if you have your contact list in an Excel sheet, or if you're like Lindsay and you write everything in a notebook, write to follow up with that person. Go back and make sure you highlight it, like, follow up again in a month or 2 months or whatever your follow-up date is going to be, so you don't miss out. And then in the meantime, comment on their stuff, follow their stories. If she posts a story a month later and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, and then she responds to that, then at least she responded. You have a conversation started. So it's always just trial and error, trying to get those relationships built, get those dialogues started, and then you guys will be well on your way to greatness. So that was a good question, Jessica. Thanks. Anyone else? Any more or anything to add? No? So, okay. Moral of the story today, everything comes through bookings. The more you can book parties, the better it is. I mean, if you have 20 people in a party, that's a lot of people that are not in your network at all that you can, start with or have to contact. And the more parties you have, the more recruits you have. Typically, that's usually how it goes. You see the people who are top in sales, they're usually top in recruiting as well. And it's just a numbers game, right? The more people that you expose the opportunity to, the product to, the more people that will be on your team. So, all right. Well, I think that's all I have for tonight. No one else has anything to add? All right. I will let you guys go. Yeah, thank you guys. And hopefully I'll be seeing you guys next week. I'm not presenting, but I will be on to suck up all of the greatness that everybody has to offer. So, all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have a
Have a good night.
Bye.